And as we are focused on that breath in the body down the midline, feeling the vibrations of you as a soul, the harmonics that you sing, that Mother Earth recognizes, that those roots of sacred sisterhood welcome and say, wow, sister, where you been? So glad you're here. And being drawn back up to be encased in the warmth of that sun energy recalibrated for you. The heart energy from our soul brothers filling our space prepared for you. And as we gather with intent with our broadcasting delightful journey, we are cocooned in the protocol and teams of the Guardian Circle so that we can create joyously, fearlessly. And our space is prepared in sacred ground of sovereignty. And so it is.
So it is.
So it is.
So let's just do some check-in. So, name where you are on the planet is good. And then just, whatever short that you might need to and want to put into the circle to get you presence here with us. And we're just going to do the tag along. And so I will, just begin with one, and then after you share, then you tag someone else. When you're complete, when you say I'm complete and I tag. So can we start with Lynn? And we can mute and unmute ourselves, okay?
Okay, I'm Lynn, and I live in Des Moines, Washington, which is about 20 miles south of Seattle. I live in the Marina District, which is down near the water, about a block up from the water. So I feel very blessed to have our cute little apartment right here so close that I can bathe myself in that wonderful energy every day as I go for a walk. And I'm just kind of sitting with wondering why I'm here today. I have so many Zoom calls. I haven't been able to get on many of these broadcasting ones, and I just got done with a client, and I was planning on doing something else that's on my schedule, and something said, go on Sharon's call. It's really important. So I'm open to, I'm expectant that there's a reason I'm here, and that I hope I will add greatly to this circle today. And I am complete, and I will call Susan.
Good morning, good morning. That's where I'm at today. Good afternoon, ladies. I am Susan, and I am here today in Lonsdale, Minnesota. I am back in the beautiful state of Minnesota. I delivered our granddaughter yesterday here, and we'll be here for the next week, celebrating 4th of July with my kids and my grandkids. So I feel, always a little displaced, even though this is our second home, but I still kind of feel different. Today, though, I sent this beautiful crystal. And it's a blue apatite. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that. I always say I'm from another planet. I really don't originate here on Earth because I have trouble pronouncing things on this planet. But give me anything galactic or light language, I can do that. So I have to research how you exactly say that. I think it's a apatite, but I'm not sure. When I looked at this beautiful crystal, it showed me that it has all the makings of the cosmos and all the aspects of all the elements, galactic and Earth. So this is my new exciting, I am a crystal hoarder, I will admit that, but I have never come across this crystal until last week or so. I had a conversation with Cinda, and all of a sudden this beautiful crystal arrives in my world. So I'm going to be playing with this beautiful crystal this week. So I'm excited to see what comes through. Arlie.
Hi, I'm Arlie. I'm on the southern tip of the North Island of New Zealand. I think I'm going to be Debbie Downer today. I'm hurt and confused. I had such a feeling of rightness about something, right down to my guts. And I really thought it was a thing and that it was happening. And it wasn't. And now I kind of doubt my connection with spirit guides and everything. I'm sorry, I'm crying. I didn't think I was going to bring this up. But there it is, and that's where I am. So, hi, Circle, I'm dumping on you. Aho. And let's see, Margie.
Where to begin? I am Margie in Sandy, Utah. Arlie, I have some ways to relate to what you're saying. I haven't been on the calls for a while. In fact, I've been up in Washington. We've had some rather urgent things happen within my family, called me away, has really pulled me back into reevaluating, reexamining a lot of things from family history. And all the things that are left to heal for any family member really seems to be at the fore. And out of that, I too have run across some things that caused me to doubt spiritual experience to the point I had to sit in meditation numerous times, revalidating what was truth for me, revalidating what was real and valuable. And I think it's a process. And it gives us the opportunity to reevaluate by all means. There's a few things that have come out of it for me. I'm humbled by the process. I'm very much humbled by the magnitude of what is visible personally, nationally, globally, of what's visible now that's left to heal. And I am so grateful for the decades of healing I've dedicated myself to be able to stand at this moment with all that's coming at us, with some personal strength, with some spirituality that is grounded in my own truths, that I can hold space. It's not easy. And we're being called to look at a lot of things that are really, really difficult. It's necessary. We can't take any of this crap forward. So it's time for us to clean out what's not truthful so we can move forward into the lightness of truth. And we all are beacons of light for that. We just have to know that. I think I'm done.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Sheila, I think you're up.
Okay. Well, first of all, Arlie and Lynn, I totally get that. And I'm glad you're here so we can hold it with you and for you. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, you know, you were talking about wondering, trusting the universe and the messages we're getting. And I clearly get that sometimes we're pushed and shoved to where we need to be, even though we may not want to go there. And I know it's all loved and blessed. And yeah, just know we're there with you, holding you in our hearts. Because you're absolutely right. This is unusual times, and I'm just so grateful we have this group. I mean, in the morning when I think about, oh, it's Monday, and I feel that instantly, the minute I think of this group, I'm instantly like a pillar, and I feel strong, and I feel powerful, and I feel like an anchor almost. Um, and it just grows and grows with this group every time we're together. And today it started the minute I thought of the group, and I'll just hold it and hold it, and I'll hold it for all of us. But I too, in the last month and a half, got the message to go to Boise, and because of everything going on, children saying, Mom, you know, you need to stay put or whatever. And finally this morning, it's been a week and a half, almost 2 weeks, of technology just going haywire left and right. And I'm pretty plugged in, but I'm telling you what, I'm running into things I've never seen before, and you name it, and it has gone haywire. And so finally this morning, I called my IT guy in Boise, my dear friend David, and he said, well, am I going there or are you coming here? And I said, well, I guess I'm going there. So I've got this big basket full of technology, from computers to phones to you name it. I mean, it's a handful, a basketful. And so I'm on a mission to go back to Boise. And it's so funny because I told him, and I told my kids, you know what? There's a mile marker on the highway to Boise that needs my energy now and now and now. And I can't ignore it anymore. I mean, I have no idea. I'm just saying that there's someplace, somewhere I'm going to pass, and it's going to be perfect, because I just can't give it up anymore. I can't ignore it anymore. And if spirit knows how to get a hold of me, it's through technology. It'll get me, it'll grab me, and I got to get it cleared up. So anyway, so I'm on a mission, but I'm so glad we got to have today together before it all happened. And I am complete, and Sharon.
Okay. Yes. I'm glad you're all here today. I mean, every Monday, it's a different group, different people in and out, which is wonderful. And whatever it is, what I love about these Zoom calls is there's such authenticity that we can come like Lynn did and say, I don't know why I'm here because I didn't plan to come. Okay, that's fine. Or like Arlie said, I'm going to dump on you because I am, you know, okay, that's good. Like Margie's been away for a while and she's been dealing with what she's been dealing with, and here she's back again. We can come whether we have pajama bottoms or we've thrown a jacket over our pajama tops, or whether we've just stepped out of the shower and our hair is wet. I've seen it all. Nobody naked yet. Thank you very much for that. But you know, but we come together in this place that says, whoever you are, just come. When you want to be here, just come. And magic happens. So, you know, there's a couple of things I know is that anything that is in our energy fields, whether it's our separate energy fields or our overlapping energy fields or our genetic energy fields, is eventually going to show up in our world. That's the law of manifestation. It just is absolutely going to show up. So that's where I would go first with what shows up. That's like, oh my gosh. And because we don't see our energy field, we sometimes think it comes out of left field, or God slapped us on the back of the head, or it's our husband's fault. You know, we're getting back to that place that says, oh, this is it, it's mine. I don't know what in the hell to do about it. What tools do I have to unwind what showed up? So, you know, and I'll just speak to you, Arlie, because the question is more like, did you like it? Did you like feeling so clear, holding it so solidly, and then it wasn't that. Did you like that experience? Yes or no?
I did not like when the feeling of rightness, of absolute, yes, this is it. It's happened. I could see, okay, what this has to do with is my daughter's IVF, which failed. But when I went and checked, I could see the fetus growing. I could see the placenta growing. I felt it in my power center.
Mm-hmm.
When I held space for her, it was a glowing sort of pink green healthy space.
Mm-hmm.
I knew she was pregnant. I knew it. I knew it.
Mm-hmm.
I even knew it was a girl. And then the test comes up negative. I really feel like I've been slapped upside the head is what I feel like, and worse.
Yeah. And I bet most of us at one point or another have had that a similar situation where it's like, what's it all about, Alfie? You know, what's it all about, Alfie? And for me, one of the most powerful tools I have, again, is that dialogue process where, because this is what I'm sensing and this is what I'm seeing so clearly. And what I get back in this moment is this. Who knows about that? Somebody on my team knows about that. And so for me, that dialogue process that goes like, instead of, at some point in time, being able to step back and say, who knows about this? Who knows? Because if I'm out of whack and I'm incorrect, if there's something in my field that says it's not safe for me to get correct information, I will get false information to be safe. I mean, you don't know what's in your.
Oh my God.
You see? So that's why you take it, you do what you have to do in that moment of physicalness. And then what is the message for me in this? So you say, did I like it? No. Do I want to be able to get correct information? Do I want to be able to be solid in that information? I do. So who knows what looks to me to be incorrect information, solid incorrect information? Who knows about that? And if you don't have, if you need other, I'll walk with you through it. There's a lot of questions that could be asked. And some of it is like, and all of that information might come directly to you as you ask that one who knows. They'll say, well, this is why, and this is why, and this is why, and this is why. Here's how, and to give you a different interactive way to be with that energy. Is that fetus, is there a fetus for her? Is it now? Maybe that fetus absolutely is there, and this particular process wasn't the right time, for example. See, there's so much that, and if there's something in the way of you getting, because I've had things in the way of me getting correct information. So, we've made contracts to cripple ourselves. We've made contracts to make us look foolish. We have all of that we need to clear out. You see what I'm saying? So
Yes.
Take it, absolutely important and critical for you to do some research on all of that. And part of it is a shaking to your bones of, oh my gosh, what can I trust? Totally, that's part of it. And it's not unusual. It's definitely part of that. I'm being firm. I'm staying my foot on the path. The end result is where I'm going to take it. And whatever's in the way of it, I will not let it stop me, because this is where I absolutely will be. I'm sure that, I mean, it's so, some of those things that are so emotionally tender, you know, or which are so emotionally tender as our family and our babies, you know, and they have a special, I mean, my granddaughter's pregnant, you know, and she'd miscarried a couple of times. And so, you know, I touched in, and so far we're doing good. You know, we're doing good. And I can't imagine what it would be, you know, to say, nope, not this time. Because then you have to deal with the grief of not this time, even though 2 years, a year down the road, there it is. Still, there's the grief in the moment. But get the message that you're meant to get is really important.
I can do that
I know you can.
process. So
Yeah, I know you can.
thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for being here and being just willing to say what's on your heart. That's what we're doing together. So I want to, before we do our future journey, I want to let you know that I think it was maybe 2 Mondays ago that the Crystal Kingdom really came swooping in to several. Wasn't there several, Susan, that kind of got in and the Crystal Kingdom was like, they were saying, do not label us. Get the labels off of us. We are more expansive than you know. We want to be more expansive than you can imagine. We want to partner with you, help direct you, in fact. You know, so here we are in that human thing going like, we're going to take this and we're going to make it that, you know? And we've done that with our essential oils, with our mineral kingdom, etc. And so Susan and I, because she's our co-pilot here, we said, okay, we're going to create this project, because they wanted to go to the sacred sites, have us travel to the sacred sites vicariously, you know, on Zoom, and anchor whatever it is they want anchored there. Now, it's interesting because Lynn's on the call. Lynn was one of my students. We began in 2010. It's only the first time I've ever taught the tag system totally is to that class. And she was there. And she was there when, I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago, when the sacred sites showed up for us and said, we have codes that have been waiting to be activated for your time. Yes, we were a benefit to the civilizations when we were created, but there are codes that were put into our structure to be activated in the future, and the future's now. We activated them and they became alive. Sacred sites all over the planet. Some we knew, some we didn't know. And I asked, because we, you know, having names is helpful when you're sharing information. I said, is there a name you would like us to call this field that's been activated? And they said, yes, we are the Phoenix. We are the Phoenix. And that is the grid and the codes of all the sacred sites. So now they're calling us crystal broadcasters to come and add something to that field. What it is, I don't know. We don't need to know. But we're putting together that. So probably if we have it ready by next Monday, we'll we might have one more of our just regular crystal broadcasting circles, but as soon as we have that in place, that we know how they want it to be designed, that's what our travels will be about. And my sense is after we do the sacred sites, we will do the battlefields, and we will do the refugee camps, and we will do the prisons. And the reason that I'm grateful for Lynn on the call, because she represents a group that have been consistently feeding the field, the foundational field of the tag work and the tag groups regularly since 2010. And they're just an amazing group of women. So thank you, Lynn, for being here. So is there anything anyone wants to say? And then what we usually do is everybody goes with their own team into some place in the future, unless you're taken somewhere else, to get the download, the codes, a sense of, maybe the vision of that future, that then you can bring it with a symbol back and anchor it with your journal writing, anchor it in the now. So we have the future telling us what it needs to be brought forward. It's pulling us. We are now aligned to it. We anchor it into our journal as we share it. And then we also ask for a symbol to represent that future that we can then program into a crystal. So we usually bring a crystal with us, and I've got to look for one for me because I didn't bring one to my desk. So before we do that, then, is there anything anyone wants to say?
Thank you, Sharon, for affirming why I'm here.
Okay. I am going to then just take a moment and get my crystal. Looks like Margie's getting hers. And I think I've got one right here that I'm going to use.
Thank you, Sharon. That Phoenix process, man, hit me hard and strong. Wow. Thank you.
Thank you for the confirmation. We really felt it powerfully and have ever since, really. Yeah. The other piece of information also that I think might be helpful for you is, like, 2 months ago, Mother Gaia said very clearly, I am ready to rid my body of outsiders. So I want you to begin that helping me with that process. So be aware, I mean, the crystalline kingdom is hers, isn't it? And beyond the crystalline kingdom, there's so many others. So if there is any draw that you have, and you might find her being present with you. Her constituents that she shows up with me is called the golden dragons, which is interesting because there you have a phoenix, don't you? So anyway, just to let you know that she's on our team and we're on hers. Okay. Okay. So we'll take a journey. It's 2:31 by my time, and so we'll take a journey for maybe up to 10 minutes. If we finish before that time, because I can see everybody when you're finished, I can see that you're through. But if not quite finished in 10 minutes, I'll call you back, and then we'll get into the sharing and then the programming of our symbol into our crystal. Okay, here goes, ladies. So breathe and get that sense of that circle, our sacred grove. Totally encased, cocooned, with the PTO teams all around us that are keeping our space balanced and sovereign. Just imagine your own travel team coming in closer to be with you. You can see them smiling. You can see they are appreciative of being with you. And they know exactly where it is that your presence will be most useful and powerful in bringing the future here and us to that future. Because they come totally aligned to the qualities of wisdom, joy, highest good, knowledge, clarity, and all that you proclaim for your teachers and guides. We know we can trust them to be with us safely and lovingly. So I'm just going to let them move you down that path wherever they would like you to go, to the count of 3. Just moving quietly and powerfully and lovingly to 1. And further and further on that journey, filling with vibrancy and delight 2. Taking you to that place prepared for today for you. Send yourself putting your foot right there at 3. Looking around, seeing where you are, and be with your teams as they guide you from here. And we'll be back in about 10 minutes.
I stayed, they showed me a picture of the new earth, and she was vibrant. She was beautiful. The colors were rich, pure crystalline colors, but yet I was still in the old earth. And they had me create like pathways to the new earth from the old. And she was heavy and discolored. And so I was creating these pathways and writing light language or codes on each crystalline. There were several. It was like each family had their own pathway. And I was writing, light language so that they could follow and knew which pathways they needed to take to get to the new earth. And so after the coding stopped, I found myself physically on this new earth. And they showed me like apothecaries that you could go in and buy crystal elixirs, just like a can of soda. Like you could just walk in and that was in front. It was everywhere. And then we traveled along this road out to this beautiful farm, and it was a crystal farm where crystals were growing and they were nurtured and taken care of as if we have livestock farms here. And I knew, I was like, sign me up. Please, if you're taking me anywhere and my path is moving forward, I would want a crystal farm, just to be and to see the way they nurtured that growth and tended and the care that was given to this beautiful new place. I've always wanted to live on a real farm. So maybe this is my dream come true, to be living on a crystal farm in the future. The symbol that they sent back to me was just this vibrant picture of the new earth, and with a heart beating in the center, that she was alive, she was thriving, she was vital, and she sends all her love for all the healing for all the souls here on earth. Aho.
Well, I started out in a dark place, so it's no surprise that I was walking down a dark tunnel, but then it seemed to be made out of labradorite, which is a stone that has rainbows in it. I don't know if, oh, there, now you can see it. So the walls alternated between being low and going all the way overhead, but it was a short tunnel and I could see the end and see the light. And when I came out in the light, there was a crystal cluster. I don't want to use the term city, but they were kind of grouped together and they were huge. The size of, the one in the center was the size of a skyscraper. And so I'm looking at that and it reminded, well, so I'm looking at that, and then geometric lines came out, straight lines that were in a pattern and were connecting to, I knew they were connecting to other crystal points like this one around the globe. And they were an orangey, yellow, pinkish color. So I asked to see this from outer space. And when I went up, I saw that object that I had seen last time I was here that was round and had the crystals growing out of it, that had rainbows moving up the crystals and could be pointed, and was it like an energy source going to these larger crystals. And there was more than one, there were at least 4, but I don't know how many others there were up there. And I was given the message that we have not started this work. There have been other people working at these sacred sites, working with crystals at these sacred sites, planting crystals in the earth, and anchoring whatever kind of energy they're doing in those crystals there. And the other message I got is, I'm seeing all these quartz crystals, but there's a place for all crystals. They all have a job in this matrix and supporting the energy that's coming into the earth. So then after I came back, I was holding my little crystal thing that I always bring to this group. And I got the feeling that that's not the right crystal anymore. And I looked on my little tray behind me where I keep some, and I found this crystal. So I started looking at it, and it has a triangle on one of the unpolished facets. And a million years ago, I took a class from a fairly famous crystal healer who had said that if you have a triangle on a uncut crystal facet, it means that crystal has a lesson to teach and wants to teach. I mean, it's one thing for you to want a crystal to teach you something. It's another thing for that crystal to want to interact with you. And she had taught that the triangle was the symbol, and this one has a triangle. So this is my new crystal, and I am complete.
I was taken by my same usual 4 guides who always come and collect me when I travel, asking to go future. And we started to transit. We were outside of Earth plane view, but I noticed almost immediately that we were examining a invisible but distinct barrier between where we are now and where we're going. And I asked them what it was, and they said it's a gateway, but it's very much vibrational. And I could see on the other side the vibrational frequencies of New Earth are already in place, already exist. And then there's this variance in frequency between where we are now and where New Earth already is. So I ask about what it is that we need to do. What is it I'm called to know about entering New Earth, and why am I looking at this barrier, if you will, to enter? And they said the key to that is in matching the vibration and frequency of where we're going. That if you do that, you literally become a part of New Earth energetically. So I asked how, and they said how important it was to match that energy in the world today, even though there are a lot of lower vibrational processes happening all around us. And it's very visible that that's going on personal levels, global levels. So I said, well, what is the best way? What is the best way to be able to maintain the vibration, the frequency of New Earth while we're still on old Earth? And what they showed me was a hurricane. and being in the eye of the storm where it's peaceful and quiet while the rest of it just whirls around you, if you will. Maintaining future Earth vibrations and frequencies while we're still here by becoming that centered eye of the storm place in our heart and our mind and our energy. And I could see that these hurricane pieces, if you will, had beings of light in the center of them, and the more of them that there were, that were able to hold the vibration, the calmer the storm became and the quieter the hurricane was all over the earth. So it really seemed like the message was about how important it is to be the future Earth energetically now. And the more of us who do that and can hold on to that, the more we are able to help raise the vibration for all of Earth, all of humanity, all of the energy that's here on the Earth, and helps us all to transit. So the symbol for me was the calm eye of the storm. And Sheila.
Thanks, Margie. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Um, guys, so many times when you guys travel, and I appreciate your journeys and sharing them, but many times I'm sort of plugged into just this energy field wherever I am. And this one was very powerful. It was very clear, and it was incredibly joyful. I almost floated up out of the chair. So I'm almost giddy about our future. I don't know what that means or what it looks like in any way, shape, or form, but I'm thrilled. I've been thrilled since the beginning of 2020, even in all this chaos. So I'm still there, and I'll hold firm, and I'm complete, Sharon.
Okay, after me, I want, and if you just do a synopsis again, because I forgot to turn on the recording, and I want to make sure we capture yours. Okay. So I asked if I asked if I could see the crystalline configurations, and I said, is that where I'm going? And they said, no, that's for someone else to do. You're not going to do that. What they did is they took me in and through the upheaval over the racial conflict, pain, rage, divisiveness, etc. And they said, this is where you're going. And they showed me that they wanted the way to be made clear, kind of like that bridge, the way to be made clear from this upheaval that's going on now to the future that is being held where there is unity. And they wanted permission to make that path much more easily and effortlessly straight, if you will. And I asked, because the ones who were talking to me came and appeared as very, like I would call the ancient ones, but not the ancient ones I'm used to working with. Very, very galactic. They were very, very galactic. And they said, so I asked if I could have one within the group dialogue with me so that I find out a little more about this group. And they said that they were the greater collective of the galactic councils. They've been around me, and they've set things in place in the galactic worlds very, very powerfully, boundaries, etc., for the last, I would say, maybe year. And they said, we've already we've been there in that conflict that comes from the outsider's influence. We've been there in the conflict. We've been there in the divisiveness. We know how this earth is manifesting, because we've been in that energy. We're no longer in that energy. We have found a way through that energy to unity. We are now a unified, powerful source of that connectiveness, and we will be the pillar in the future. That's what we are being, the pillar in the future, And I said, will you be teaching? And they said, it's not, we don't need to teach. We are just absolute holding that vibration. If we are invited to teach, we will, but it's not about teaching to get people to this unification. It is making the pathway straight, changing the vibrations that are already here and making that straight path into what they're holding as an end result. And I asked them what was the symbol, and they gave me the symbol of triangles and circles, triangles and circles. And so that's what I'm going to program. And I'm complete. So Lynn, do you want to say just a little bit about your journey so we can capture it? Because I forgot.
Oh, okay. Well, I realized this as soon as I finished another piece. Basically, I traveled with a couple of my guides to a place that there was nothing there. When I stepped down, it was just sort of empty. And then I was guided to go look to the right, and to the right, there was a path down through, it looked like a forest, but it was very dark, and I wasn't very excited about going there, and it was very steep. I mean, I could look down, it was almost like, rather than a path, almost like going down a well or something, but because it was just went down like this, which I did go down, and it wasn't scary or anything. And then when I came out the other side, for just a flash, and this is what I missed until some of the others started talking, was as I came out of it, I saw for just a flash like a crystal city. And then it was gone. And then I was at this wall where this guy was trying all these keys. And that's when he handed me the key. And I got the feeling that I was supposed to be the one to unlock the key to whatever. And I was doing that when we got called back. So I brought the key back as a symbol, but there was something, and now as I hear the others, it's like there was something that was there that was keeping us from this new earth, that there is a key to unlock that. That's it.
Good. Okay, sounds like we might have some personal things to do in the next few days to continue that until we feel like that's complete. Like the guardian circles, 5 minutes every day to energize the protection. So thank you so much. Let's now take our crystals, unless you may have already programmed yours. I have not. Just tune into that field of the crystal in whatever way you do or are drawn to. Program that symbol and the energy, the codes into your crystal. These codes are anchored here into our crystals. They are activated. Broadcasting for whatever length of time is most important for this work they are doing. If they need our attention, they will call to us and we will listen. We declare that the broadcasting from these crystals are now out in the world in a way that the crystal knows is best. And so it is.
So it is.
So thank all of you. You can unmute and we'll say goodbye until next Monday. And as soon as we get our design in place for traveling the sites, we'll let you know through the email.
Okay.
And sending lots of love.
Mhm.
Love to you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
for being
everyone.
here.
Thank you.
Good See you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Until we meet again. Okay, baby. Travel safely.